Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dutchman, and today I'm making a short video about a specific starship.
Cruiser reporting.
This is the
We're advancing on the
Recusant-class
enemy
light
stronghold.
destroyer.
Its presence must be eliminated before we can liberate the planet.
Okay. Well, normally when I add new ships to the mod, I don't really give them any special attention. They get an image on ModDB. I may, in the description, describe what they do, but I felt like the Recusant destroyer is a special case that deserves some special attention. So, the Recusant light destroyer you'll have seen in many other mods. Let's just move these forward.
Weapons ready.
But in this mod I decided to make them a little more interesting than just a regular ship with a few lasers, turbo lasers, and voila.
At your command.
I don't really feel like moving apparently.
Navigating to coordinates.
Let's double click, make the move. So yeah, this is the Recusant destroyer, the model by Evil Jedi. I did go through some fairly heavy modifications to make it look the way it does now. Optimize it a little bit, make it look a little bit more modern. And I think it looks a lot better right now than the vanilla one does. But anyway, up to the role of the ship in game. The Recusant destroyer is it's a capital-sized ship. It is about 1,200 meters long. It's actually longer than the Providence-class. But its role in game is actually quite interesting. It's not necessarily a backbone ship that you base your entire fleet around. In fact, it's actually more of a support ship. Let's just stop you here and make sure you go there and just sit there. The Recusant-class destroyer is actually equipped with paper-thin armor. It simply does not have the health it needs to stand up to flak cannons. It simply doesn't have the health to stand up to other starships. Now, it does have fairly decent shielding, but the primary feature of the ship is its very heavy and varied armament. It's a pure support ship. It's got point defense ability, one of the very few ships in the mod that has them. It's capable of shooting down torpedoes and missiles, actually fairly quickly. In a fairly large radius too, so it can cover other starships. It's equipped with some fairly heavy forward fixed weapons, namely a dual heavy turbo laser that you can see here. It's got very limited fire arc, so this is not going to suddenly fire sideways. It's forward fixed, so it doesn't rotate. The Consortium variant. Consortium has a very different version of the Recusant. They can build the normal CIS-1 too, but their specific version is a little upgraded and its turret does rotate. It's also not a heavy turbo laser cannon, but we'll cover that some other time. Heavy turbo laser cannon, it's got another forward fixed turbo laser battery and then a few, two more turbo laser batteries, which can fire all the way around the ship. It's also equipped with 4 broadside laser cannons. They're fairly rapid fire and they're really designed for anti-starfighter. But the real meat of this ship is its flak cannons. It's got 4 flak cannons, which currently is the only ship in the mod that has them. They're very long range, they're very inaccurate, and they do splash damage. What does that mean? It means that this ship is very, very useful for mopping up starfighters. Now, I'm not seeing a lot of starfighters here right now, so let's just move forward a bit and let's hope we... Okay, so there we go. Okay, so that went down fairly quickly. So yeah, it's got very heavy weapons. The dual heavy turbo lasers are really the meat of the ship. It's they're quite powerful. The broadside flak cannons are very useful for targeting starfighters. It's really a massive fighter screener. The CIS does not have a dedicated ship for anti-starfighter purposes. It has, of course, a shit ton of droids, which it spawns, which it uses to deal with starfighters, but it doesn't have a dedicated corvette, and it doesn't have like a light frigate, so to say. The lightest frigate they've got is the Magnificent, and that really does not quite classify as a light frigate. That's got so much firepower you could actually classify it as a cruiser. Again, that has paper-thin armor, just like the Recusant. The Recusant actually has a bit more health, because it is, of course, a far larger ship. It does have decent shielding, as I said. What the actual fuck is this? Okay, I have never seen that before. That's new. Yeah, let's try to give chase. It's fairly effective at dealing with frigates. It's fairly effective in dealing with corvettes, but you're not going to stand one-on-one against, for example, Venator. Because of its low health, you may see that it has a lot of hard points, but these are really, really papier-mâché. Especially these hard points in the hull itself. They are very, very vulnerable. The engine itself is very exposed, so I give it a targetable hard point. The entire thing blows off if you actually manage to destroy the engines. and it slows down to a crawl. Since it
Gunship
is a
reporting.
capital ship, as I said, it's very large. It turns very slowly,
Batteries online.
but once you actually get it in range, it can actually do a pretty good amount of
Launching
damage.
attack.
As I said, it kind of turns like a brick, so you're not going to be able to turn it on a dime, but the idea is to slap this thing in the middle of an already existing fleet made out of, for example, Providences and a couple of Munificents, to support your fleet. This is not, as I said, a ship to make the backbone of your army, because it simply does not have the health to stand up to other starships. But it is exceptionally good at supporting. As you can see, it has the pointed defense ability. As I said, again, very useful for screening. It's very useful for fighter screening. You can call it a dedicated anti-fighter capital ship, and it really excels at this. Now, somewhere on this battlefield there is a Munificent, and I was hoping to see that. Let's actually see if we can hunt and then find that. Bunch of V-wings. Yeah, the flak cannons are really useful. Now I wanted to really finish this video with it destroying a Munificent, but if we can't find that, then that's going to be a little difficult. So let's fast forward and see if we can actually find it anyway.
Swinging around.
But yeah, it's a very useful sport ship for the CIS fleet. They of course like a dedicated anti-fighter craft, so I figured why not make this ship a little bit more unique than just a simple, say, heavy gunship, which a lot of mods make it. The CIS already has a bunch of gunships. I mean, the Providence is very good at it, has a bunch of firepower, though it also has the health to stand up against larger ships. The Munificent itself is purely damage based. It's got paper thin armor and paper thin shields. Recusant has, due to its size, a little bit more shields, but still not great.
Awaiting orders.
Well, I was going to show you its effectiveness versus a Munificent, but apparently that's not what we're going to see. Can blow up some of these, I suppose.
Attack position.
Again, the forward fired or forward fixed weapons like the turbo laser and the heavy turbo laser does have fairly limited fire arc, so you really gotta kind of be careful where you position this ship, because even though all of its anti-fighter weapons are broadside, most of its heavy weapons are forward fixed. So I figured that would make it a little bit more interesting. Yeah, that's really about it. I mean,
Awaiting instructions.
tell you something else about it, but that's really about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and well, hope to see you in the next ship overview video. Bye bye.